Hey guys, today we're going to be chatting about 10 products that I refuse to buy in 2025. These are beauty products that I just don't get enough use out of, or they just don't work for me in one way or another. And hopefully you guys don't take this in a negative way, because some of these products you may actually really love and use all the time. So I just want to make that clear. This is just my personal list, but hopefully this video will inspire you to look at your own collection, try to pick out the products that you either have enough of or that just don't work for you, and you can go ahead and just save your money on those products this year. And I'd love to hear what those are down in the comments below. So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump right in and get started. Okay, so product number one that I am no longer going to buy is pH adjusting makeup. These have been a trend for such a long time now, and I'm actually old enough to remember this technology from the 80s. We used to have like mood ring lipstick that might even date back to the 70s, but we still had them in the 80s, so I remember those. And on me, they always end up changing into this really funky shade of hot pink. It's been that way since I was a kid, and it hasn't changed. I thought maybe the more updated versions would, but no. It's a super gimmicky product. It claims to react to your unique pH in your skin, but really the way that these work is that they contain color changing dyes. Most often it's red number 27, and those are pH sensitive. So when they react to the moisture or oils in your skin, they react and change color to a pink or a reddish hue. But most people's skin's pH falls into this really narrow window of like 4.5 to 5.5. It's slightly acidic. So the idea of customization on a really narrow range like this is pretty misleading. The dye basically turns the same color on everybody. I think if it does look different from one person to the next, it's likely because they have a different skin color or a different undertone. And one of those formulas is going to look different on me with light skin with a cool undertone than it would for maybe somebody with deeper, warmer skin tone. But either way, it's pretty much changing into the same color. So for me, these are just a gimmick, and going forward, I think it would just make sense for me to choose colors that I know already work for my skin tone and my undertone than buying these products that I know are just going to turn that crazy shade of hot pink on me. The second thing that I am not buying in 2025 is face palettes. Face palettes are such a draw for me when I see them, like the Hourglass ones, for example, that come out every year. They're so pretty, and I love the idea of having all of these different face colors in one palette. But the reality is I buy them and I don't use them. I have those Hourglass palettes from years ago. I have one that's like 5 or 6 years old, whenever they first started doing them. And I bought them every year for a while, and I was like, you know what? This is ridiculous. I use them for a couple of weeks, put them in a drawer, and forget about them, because I typically am using other blushes in my collection, other bronzers. And the other thing about face palettes is that they claim to be universal, but a lot of times there are a few shades within the palette that I don't even use or I can't use with my skin tone. So a lot of times they'll include maybe a bronzer that's too orangey or too warm, or it'll be a highlighter that's maybe like a dark gold, and I prefer a lighter champagne or pink highlight. So inevitably there's always going to be at least 1 or 2 shades in those palettes that I'd never even touch. So for me, it just makes sense going forward to not buy face palettes anymore, but I know they're really popular. I know a lot of you guys love the Hourglass ones, and they are a good deal. I feel like they're a good value because you get to try a whole bunch of different shades from their range, and it's cheaper than buying the big sizes individually. So for that reason, I think it's good. And I think if I had only purchased one of them and just used that, I would have been fine. But now I have a whole bunch of them, and I just feel like it was such a waste of money. So I'm just gonna go ahead and skip face palettes from now on. Number 3 is glitter for my face. So nothing against glitter at all. I like it. I do wear glitter on my eyes sometimes, so no issues there. But when it comes to my face, I just can't do it anymore. Any blush or highlighter or bronzer that has too much shimmer or glitter is just a no for me from here on out. I don't mind a little bit of glow. Like if it's a glowy blush that's not too sparkly, I'm okay with that. But I'm just not into the super shiny look these days. And I think part of that is because the more glitter or shimmer you have on your cheeks, the more it's going to show any texture, fine lines, that kind of thing. And the older I get, the less I like wearing products like that because I just feel like they make my skin look less smooth. So I've been kind of leaning more toward matte finishes when it comes to powder products. But like I said, every once in a while, I do love a glowy cheek. And typically, if I do that, I reach for liquid or cream highlight or blush that has a little bit of glow, but it just doesn't have all of that and sparkle that you can find in a lot of the powder products. So going forward in 2025, I'm going to skip any products for my face that are too shimmery. It's just not my thing right now. I may change my mind in the future down the road, but I don't really see that happening. Next up, we have miracle products. So this is another category that I am so guilty of. I always buy into the hype and I really have to stop myself from doing that from now on. It always starts with me seeing a product that has gone viral, whether it's on TikTok or any other social media. Usually that's where it is. And everyone's saying it's the best thing ever. Like it makes your skin look so smooth, or it gets rid of wrinkles, or it makes your lips look like you had lip injections, like whatever it is. And other products just come right out and say miracle in the name. And I think in both cases, it pays to be skeptical because in my 30-something years of wearing makeup, I have never found a magic bullet. Sure, I've found tons of holy grail products, things that I really love, but nothing that was truly a miracle, nothing that transformative. It just doesn't exist. A perfect example is the Go Pure neck cream. I saw this advertised on TikTok and people were showing these before and after photos where their necks looked a lot like mine with wrinkles or they had saggy skin, and then their after picture looked like they were 20 years old. And I should have known better. I really should have, but I bought into the hype because there were so many of them that were pushing this product. And not only that, but these brands and influencers like prey on your insecurities. And my neck is one of my biggest insecurities because I have, like I said, these really deep wrinkles. It's probably tech neck from looking down at devices all the time, but it basically looks like it's aging faster than my face. So I bought this neck cream hoping to see those results. I actually even did a whole video on it. And at the end of 30 days, I did notice a little bit of a difference. I felt like it did something, and I don't know whether it was just the act of like massaging and applying this cream regularly every single day or what it was, but the before and after pictures I had, I definitely noticed a little something. But was it the miracle product that they were saying that it was? Absolutely not. I think if I had used any other neck cream, I could have seen similar results. So I know a lot of people have been asking me if I still use that neck cream a year later. And, you know, I finished the jar and I haven't been using it anymore. I'm actually using retinaldehyde on my neck now because retinol is a really proven ingredient and I'm just done buying into the hype. I figured I'm just going to use a tried and true product. I've been using it for like 30 days now. And I know with retinol, it can take months to see results. So I will update you guys because I did take a before picture and we'll find out what happens maybe in a couple more months from now. But from here on out, if any product is touted as some sort of a miracle, I am going to thoroughly do my research on the ingredients and make sure that it actually has the science to back it up. If not, I'm not going to waste my money because experience has shown me that very few products actually completely live up to their claims. The next one that I'm going to stop buying in 2025, and this might be a little bit hard, but it's foundation that does not match my skin tone. So like I said, this is going to be tough because there's a lot of foundations that come out and a lot of them just don't do cool undertones right. But I know I'm going to be wanting to try new formulas, but it has just been such a struggle this year finding a foundation that doesn't look super warm and peachy and orangey on me. Even if it claims to have a cool undertone, I get it home, I start putting it on, and it's completely wrong. And oftentimes when I'm buying these products online, I'll either order a shade that's too light for me because I'm trying to get one that looks like it has a cooler or pink undertone, or I'll get one that's too dark for me because of the same reason. A lot of times it's the super fair shades that have that rosy undertone, and then the light shades, which is usually where I am, fall into the warmer category, and then if I want to get to at least neutral, then I have to go up another shade. So it's so hard for me to find a match, but it can be done. There are some brands who do it really well, and I think I'm just going to make sure before I order foundation from now on, I'm just going to go to the store and swatch it if possible and try to find a shade that actually matches me. And if I can't, then I'm just gonna skip that foundation because I have a drawer full of them over there that are too dark, too light. I don't like the way they look on me. So even if it's a nice formula, I don't wear it. And I know that there are some products that you can use to mix in, like the blue pigment from LA Girl that you can mix in and cool off a warm foundation. And I do that, but not all the time. I just feel like it's kind of a pain in the neck. It's an extra step that I don't really want to do. And every time I use it, it kind of changes it into a different color because it's hard to measure how much you're putting in. So sometimes it comes out looking almost like gray and too blue, and other times it's not enough. So it's just a hassle that I don't want to have anymore. So going forward, I am going to try to get the right foundation shade every time. Also in the foundation category, I want to talk about skin tints because skin tints have become such a huge thing right now. And I'm fully aware I might be in the minority with this, but I just don't love them, especially the ones that are really, really sheer. Because as I get older and I have more redness, discoloration, that kind of thing, I find myself wanting a little bit more coverage than a skin tint offers. And I don't mean full coverage because I'm not crazy about the way that looks on me either. I love something just right in the middle, like a solid medium coverage foundation. And if it is more of a light or sheer formula, if it can at least be built up to close to medium, I'm okay with that too. But there are some skin tints when you put it on and it just does nothing. And then I end up putting concealer all over my face just to cover what I need. And it was like, what was the point? So that's one reason I don't love them. The other is that so many of the formulas I've tried feel either super greasy, like they're trying to give you that glass skin look, but it just ends up making you look oily, or some of them are full of alcohol because they make the formula really thin, like the L'Oreal and Maybelline ones. And again, I know so many of you guys love those formulas. They just look terrible on me. So I really wish I loved them. But for now, again, I think it's something that I'm going to have to just see for myself, go in store and actually swatch the product, see what it feels like. I'm just going to try really hard not to order foundation online anymore, even if it means waiting a few weeks until they show up in store. That's what I'm going to have to do. And I'm saying this because I look over at a drawer full of foundation that won't even close. And I use probably like 4 or 5 of them regularly. So I need to do a declutter of those for sure. And going forward, be a little bit more selective about the foundations that I buy. The next thing I'm not buying in 2025 are chemical sunscreens. So this does not include Korean chemical sunscreens because those actually are fine on my skin. But the American chemical sunscreen filters, for some reason, break me out, irritate my skin so badly. Not necessarily at first, but if I continue to use them for a few days in a row, I start to notice this irritation, redness, bumps on my skin. And I don't know which chemical filter it is, but I think the whole process would just be such an annoying thing to have to weed out that I'm just going to stick to the mineral formulas that I know work well for me, and also some of my favorite Korean sunscreens as well. And unfortunately, this also means not buying products that contain chemical sunscreens. For example, certain foundations that might have them in them, or certain primers that sometimes brands come out with. I know the NYX Blur With Me primer, I really enjoyed the texture of that. I thought it was such a nice primer, but it has chemical sunscreen and I'm just too afraid to use it on a daily basis. And to be honest, I'm not really in favor of complexion products containing sunscreen. I mean, on the one hand, it's good because there are people out there who don't wear it, and I guess some is better than none. But I also worry that some people will just apply that and think that that's okay. But most of the time, you need to apply way more than you think you would to get the SPF protection that's on the label. So anyone who's putting on a foundation that contains SPF 25, you would have to put on so much foundation, it would look like a thick, heavy, cakey mask, and nobody is doing that. So I think putting SPF in products can be a little bit dangerous because people think I'm good, I have my SPF, and really we should just be educating people on applying an SPF first and then putting your other products on top of that. So that's a topic for another day, but for now, I have found so many wonderful mineral sunscreens that I really love during my 30 days of mineral sunscreen back in June that I did. So I feel like I'm set. I really don't need any more chemical formulas. Even if there are some cool new ones coming out, I just feel like it's not worth the risk for me. Next up, we have dry shampoo. This is another one I think is going to be controversial because a lot of people love their dry shampoo. But the thing is, for me, I have really fine hair. I have a dry scalp, so I don't produce a lot of oil, but even so, if I skip more than a day washing my hair, it just starts to look really flat. So I'm usually washing my hair every other day. And I have tried to extend that by using dry shampoo. And on me, it just always feels sticky, even when I buy formulas that claim to not leave a sticky residue. I don't know if it's just the texture of my hair and how fine it is, but I've never ever found one that felt good in my hair. I like my hair to have like some bounce. I like it to be flowy, and really there's no substitute for just washing it. As a pain in the neck as it is, and how time consuming it is to wash and dry and style long hair, I would rather do that than feel that like residue that the dry shampoo leaves behind. I just hate the feeling of it. Again, it's just a personal thing. It doesn't make my hair look bad. It's just the feeling for me. It's a tactile thing. And I figure if worse comes to worse, I can just put my hair in a bun or ponytail, and I do that a lot too. So for me, dry shampoo is out in 2025. The next thing I'm not buying any more of is lip scrubs. These are such a gimmick, I feel like, and I get sucked into them a lot because sometimes they have cute packaging or they have these really fun scents that they come in, but I always end up using them once or twice and then never reaching for them again. At one point I had like a whole drawer of lip scrubs and I never use them. Usually when I go into the shower, I am taking a washcloth and just exfoliating my lips with that, and that works great. Like just a washcloth and warm water, and you just massage it on your lips, and it actually kind of like increases the blood flow. It makes them look a little bit more plump temporarily, and it gets rid of all the dead skin flakes. So for me, those are just a completely unnecessary product. So I'm done buying lip scrubs as well. And then the last one is just trendy products that I don't really like, but I buy them because they're trendy. So this sort of encompasses all different categories, whether it's blush or eyeshadow or whatever it is. If there is a trend going on and it's not something that I can see myself using, wearing, whatever it is, I am not gonna buy it. I don't care if it's not cool. I'm not in high school anymore, so I'm perfectly fine with just wearing what I like and what I think looks good on me. So if, blue eyeshadow, for example, has this huge trendy moment and every single person is wearing blue eyeshadow, but I hate wearing it. I mean, I have some blue eyeshadows like within different palettes and things like that. So on the very slim chance that I might want to wear a blue eyeshadow look every once in a while, I have some, but that doesn't mean I have to go right out and buy all the newest ones that are coming out just because it's a trend or whatever the trend is at the time. I mean, I know that trends have always existed, but these days they just seem to move even faster and faster than they did before. And it can be really dangerous because you're just chasing this trend, then you get to it and it's already almost on its way out. And then there's another one that you're expected to follow. And 9 times out of 10, these influencers are telling you that to participate in this trend, you have to have this new product, whatever it is. And truthfully, you probably have something just like it already in your collection. So I think if you want to participate in trends, you can still do that without running out and buying new things. It's just not necessary. So I'm done buying new products just to follow a trend. If I want to follow the trend, I'll just figure out a way to do it with my own collection. So anyway, guys, I hope that this video was fun and helpful. Again, I would love to hear from you down in the comments. What things are you no longer buying going forward in 2025? Let us know down in the comments. I love chatting with you guys and hearing your thoughts. And also, I want to thank each and every one of you for taking time out of your day to watch this. I truly appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed yet and you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit the subscribe button, and I'll put another video to watch right here in case you're interested and you have a little bit of extra time. So thank you guys so much. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in my next one. Take care, guys. Bye.